Cabin Sports Radio.
Here comes the siren. I want to go higher. Oh, my goodness. Coaching will defend. Oh! LeBron James with no regard for human life.
Pass is intercepted at the goal line by Malcolm Butler. Unreal.
Oh, baby, for sure.
Cabin Sports Radio starts now.
Oh, baby. Strap yourselves in. We have got a show for you today. Unbreakable Mike Gibbons and Lekter with you on Cabin Sports Radio, brought to you by Sport North, moving sport forward. Mike went and ran and grabbed himself a glass of water because I told him we're not stopping. We're not taking any breaks today.
No breaks today.
Lots to talk about. You wanted to talk about some NBA trades. That can wait.
Yeah.
We'll get to those. Dustin Johnson, 84th Masters champion.
Yep.
We all feel great for him. That's a great story.
We'll get to him at the end of the show.
We'll get to him at the end, yeah. But not what we're going to talk about today. Because if you spent any time on social media today, you know that the NHL revealed its 31 reverse retro jerseys, each team with a little bit of a remix courtesy of the help of the Adidas design team. And we are going to go through them team by team and grade them A+ to F. I got news for you. Might have to grade on a curve on this one.
Yeah. It's not going to be pretty.
It might not be pretty. Yeah, it might get a little ugly. So that's the entire show today. We will get to these NBA trades.
Mm-hmm.
There might be more, and then that'll just give us more to talk about in the future.
Yep.
Like Mike said, we'll finish off with Dustin Johnson. Very exciting win for him at the Masters. But these jerseys, they can't go a week. They can't sit a week on the back burner. We got to get to this right now.
Yep.
So, without further ado, let's get into it, Michael. The sportingnews.com. Now, if you Google reverse retro jerseys, NHL, you'll find everyone has been talking about this. It's been all over the news, sporting news, if you will. But I found, looking through articles to put together a collection of all of them in one place, one digestible place, sportingnews.com. That is one of the websites. You were saying Sportsnet had done it as well?
I have the Score app on my phone, so I was going through my own rankings as well earlier today, so I was thrilled when I saw you throw it on for today's show. So people are already coming out with their own rankings. There's going to be some disagreements here or there. But there are some consensus in some areas.
Yes.
And we can break that down because there are some that are undeniably bad.
Right.
And some that are really, really good. And we'll get to that.
I feel like we should maybe just quickly get this out of the way because I don't know when we're going to have a chance to do it. So
You're listening to Cabin Sports Radio, brought to you by Sport North. Moving sport forward.
There you go. Give Sport North, our sponsors, a little plug, and we can move on with our nonstop marathon show tonight on Cabin Sports Radio. All right. So if you go to the sportingnews.com article, you will see they rank them from worst to best, going 31st to first, as one might when ranking worst to best in a league of 31 teams, and the worst, according to sportingnews.com, the Vegas Golden Knights.
Yeah.
Now, I give them a bit of a pass.
Totally.
Obviously, they've only been in existence for 3 seasons now. They don't have a retro look to draw upon.
No.
So the fact that obviously they had to be included in this because they were a current NHL franchise. You're not going to have a brand new line of jerseys without having all of your teams included, regardless of how long or how short their existence may have been. But the Vegas Golden Knights not getting any credit from the Sporting News. They just put them last. You'll see when you take a look, it is a largely majority red jersey. There's a big star in the middle with 2 swords crossing. I mean, a pretty uninspiring logo And they have the actual crest, the Vegas Golden Knights, as a shoulder patch. I don't know where the red comes from.
So I guess they're paying homage to an IHL club, the International Hockey League, the Las Vegas Thunder.
Ah, yes.
From years ago. So that's where the red comes in. I remember, and this isn't the first time that we've discussed jerseys and branding. Most recently with the Seattle Kraken, when their team name and subsequent home, away, probably don't have alternates at this point.
I love
and we went through it. It's really nice, right? They did a really good job. I love the name. I remember when the Vegas Golden Knights were introduced as the league's 31st team, I wasn't crazy about the name because I think I just liked Vegas Knights better.
Yeah.
Golden Knights has really grown on me quite a lot. And I guess what a lot of people are saying right now is Vegas, stay golden.
Oh,
and I mean that not in a nice way.
Oh,
I mean that in get away from the red.
Yes.
You know, you had and there's a bit of a theme that I think we'll get on to later in the show. A lot of teams trended towards a bit of a gray. For whatever reason, incorporating a gray. I love gray. I love a charcoal gray.
Yeah,
it's one of my favorite colors. It's nice on a suit.
I don't know that it's a color, Michael,
okay, it's nice on a suit. It's nice on furniture. You know, charcoal gray. It's classy.
Yeah.
It's subtle.
Right.
And a lot of teams, for reasons that I don't entirely know, are trending in that direction. I loved what Vegas had before. I like the gray. I like the gold and a little bit of the black. There's way too much red.
Yeah.
There's a lot of red going on in this jersey. I respect that they're paying homage to a former team, but there's a lot. This is a lot to take on the eyes with the red, the gold, the yellow, the gray. There's a lot going on. I love the shoulder patch because they've got the helmet in there.
Yep.
It looks really nice. There's a little bit too much red in here. Stay golden, Vegas.
What are you giving it for a grade?
Ooh. And again, you know what? We're gonna give it some benefit of the doubt just because they're 3 years old.
Yeah, for sure. We got to be nice.
Ooh. C-.
C-, and that's being generous.
I know. That's really generous. I'm sorry. You can't give them a D or an F. They're so brand new.
That's right. I mean, I agree with everyone. The red is too much. It's too bold. It's you got the nice gun gray and the gold. Do something more with that.
Yeah.
I mean, you could argue that maybe that's already been done with their current jerseys. Again, not a lot to draw from. You don't have a lot to draw from when you end up drawing inspiration and paying homage to a team that no longer exists in a minor hockey league that no longer exists. So not really anything to draw from. Nevertheless, my first thought was I didn't know what team it was supposed to be.
Right. Yeah.
So it's a little, it's just not great. I'll be a little nicer and give it a C+.
Okay.
Because I don't mind the jersey look itself. It's just not great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be the Sabres, when you look at that front crest there. And a lot of people also having a little bit of fun with the swords. You'll remember Marc-Andre Fleury's agent not too long ago tweeted a picture of a sword coming through goaltender Marc-Andre Fleury's back.
Yeah.
Peter DeBoer, head coach, stabbing his own netminder in the back. So some people having a little bit of fun with that. But you look at the front crest, you can't even really tell it's a Vegas Golden Knights. I like the back. I like the shoulder patch. A little bit too much red. Not a huge fan of the front.
Sorry, Ollie, our very own Ollie Williams, the Vegas Golden Knights, his favorite NHL team.
That's right.
Purely because of their Twitter feed. They're able to stay relevant and witty. They missed the mark in real life, though, however. So C- from Mike, C+ from me on the Vegas Golden Knights. We move on to the sportingnews.com's ranking the next worst jersey. Hard to argue this one.
Yeah.
The Detroit Red Wings.
I'd put it behind. I'd put it at 31st.
You put it behind the Golden Knights?
So, yeah.
Wow.
It looks like a practice jersey.
It does.
And some people have said that, too.
Yeah.
I mean, the Red Wings are completely devoid of red. Really? I mean, it's entirely white. Except for, of course, the red crest in the middle. But, it honestly, it looks like a budget practice jersey.
Yeah.
It's weird.
You took a jersey that has been one of the most consistent, arguably other than the Montreal Canadiens. There's been very few changes despite, many different iterations and corporate branded jersey designs throughout the years in the NHL. The Detroit Red Wings is one that hasn't really been touched for the most part. And that is for a good reason. It is a classic jersey. It is a very simple design, but it all ties together beautifully. They basically took that simple design and stripped things away from it.
Yep.
You made a very simple jersey, about as simple as it could possibly look, and then added gray stripes for some reason. Because Detroit has never had any silver so I don't know what this is drawing as far as the retro part of the reverse retro tag. I don't know where that is coming from. It's very confusing. It's very uninspiring.
Yeah.
And like you said, they just look like practice jerseys.
Yeah, really disappointing to see an original 6 team all the way down in the 30th spot and maybe even lower as fighting for the league's worst
and
retro.
You know what? They still couldn't get the top draft pick.
I know.
Didn't even finish last.
It's really disappointing to see an original 6 team here that, like you said, such a classic, iconic, simple, and that's what I think is so nice when you think about the original 6. The Bruins, the Rangers, the Leafs, the Habs, the Blackhawks, and the Red Wings. Such simple designs, but they last the test of time. They're absolutely timeless, and you know that there's not going to be many tweaks to the actual crest itself, and there aren't here. But outside of that, front crest, there's nothing.
No.
And as you alluded to, the gray stripe. Some people saying, well, why couldn't we've had more red first of all, and then maybe incorporated some white stripes throughout, but get more red on the Red Wings jerseys,
or just continue to leave it as it is. I would have given it a higher grade if they had done absolutely nothing.
No pizzazz.
As it stands, I am giving this one a definite F.
Yeah.
Yourself, Mike?
That's going to be a D.
A D?
That's going to be a D.
What are you giving them credit for?
I guess because they're an original 6 team and because I like the crest on the front.
Right. Okay.
But that's going to be the lowest grade I probably give out for the day.
Oh, wow. You're not going to fail anybody?
I don't think so.
Okay.
We can't do that anymore.
Okay.
No, you got to advance everyone to the next grade level.
All right. Moving on. Number 29 on the sporting news jersey worst to first list is the Pittsburgh Penguins. Michael, your thoughts?
I'm not crazy about the shoulder patch, surprisingly. I've liked the previous 2. No, that's not true. I like the Knights one. I didn't like the Red Wings one. Looking a little cartoony. Pittsburgh, written across the front chest. I'm not crazy about it. I was always a big fan of their traditional crest on the front.
Yeah.
The coloration is fine, but I mean, in the city of Pittsburgh, which usually, I think it's the only sports town where all of its teams have the same colors.
Yeah.
The Pirates, the Steelers, and the Penguins are all black and yellow, baby. So you're not going to tweak with that, right?
Right.
I guess you could throw a little bit of red for the Steelers. Black, white, red. Yeah.
Do they have red in the Steelers?
A little bit. I think maybe a little bit.
Okay.
Or I'm making it up. Yeah. But no, I'm not crazy about it. I think I would have preferred to see a crest on the actual front rather than just the letteration.
Yeah.
But that's my thoughts. The back is okay. But I'm not crazy about the shoulder patches. Looking a little cartoony.
Yeah.
I prefer their traditional penguin.
I've never been a fan of the diagonal city name style. It just, and not to say there's anything wrong with college jerseys, but when you have a definite mascot branding that is kind of the the spirit of your team name, why not go with that? And to be honest, I've never minded the old school, the 80s, early 90s, and I think they've gone back to it in recent years. I've never minded that kind of cartoony penguin crest. I don't know why. There's nothing like too goofy about it. It's certainly not a remarkable crest, but it's just kind of classic. It kind of has a bit of like 80s retro charm to it, and it's still, with the right colors accompanying it, I feel like it still kind of holds up. I was not a huge fan of their more modernized mid-90s one, the triangular penguin crest, if you remember that one. I'm glad they didn't try to incorporate that one into this jersey, but I feel like, it kind of suffers a bit from the same thing as the Detroit jersey. It's just, there's just not a lot there.
Yeah.
There's, it's very plain. Mm-hmm. I don't like the diagonal city design on the front crest. And then you just tossed in a yellow stripe and black sleeve for good measure. Yeah, there's just not a lot to talk about with the Penguins jersey. I would say I think I'd like it a bit better than the Wings one.
Yeah.
But not much.
Relatively unimaginative, I think, and a lot of people saying that the diagonal text is a bit of a cop-out.
Yeah.
I think what a lot of these jerseys will sort of tug on is that nostalgia.
Right.
So people are going to associate these jerseys with the players that wore them during their gameplay. So a lot of people will be thinking of Lemieux and Jágr, the heydays for the Pittsburgh Penguins. But yeah, if we're taking the jersey for what it is, relatively unimaginative, the diagonal text on the front, not crazy about. So not going to be a great grade over here either.
What are you giving it?
We're going to go with another C-.
Giving it a C-.
Yeah.
Okay. I will. I'll be a little bit more harsh, and I'm going to give it a D+. Yeah. All right. So Pittsburgh out of the way. On to the next one. The St. Louis Blues, who are just trying everything in their power to abandon the blue.
Yeah.
In their jersey design. I know for a fact that someone who is probably listening right now, that being my dad, absolutely hates these jerseys. I haven't even heard him say that, and I know that he hates these jerseys. Obviously, the most recent inspiration that these are drawing back from is, I believe it was in the same time, the mid-late 90s, the St. Louis Blues they switched up from their Brett Hull era, gold and blue, and they had that diagonal red creeping in on the bottom. I didn't totally hate, if you think basically Gretzky era with the St. Louis Blues, he would be wearing this jersey.
Yeah.
And this is basically a reverse of that as far as color scheme goes. And I wasn't crazy about the 90s St. Louis Blues jerseys with the red. I also didn't hate them as much as my dad did. But when you reverse the color scheme, they're not good. And then especially, they're not great to begin with. And then when you turn them over and you got the yellow numbers and white nameplate.
Yeah.
It's gaudy.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
The sporting world is pretty divided on this one. I've got another ranking in front of me here. They've got them almost cracking the top 10.
Oh, wow.
The score has them at 13. So that's a pretty big jump.
Wow.
Daring, obviously, to go back to the red and the blue, and then you throw in yellow. It's a bit of a clash. Especially, there's a lot of coloration, especially on the shoulder patch, which surprisingly, for me anyways, is probably the element I dislike the least. I don't mind it. I like that they're paying homage, obviously, the Music City. I always love their traditional blue note.
Yes.
It's very simple.
Yep.
But you know that it is a St. Louis Blues. Again, kind of like what the Red Wings did. Not a lot of red. The St.Louis Blues, a little devoid of blue.
Not a lot of blue,
It's not the dominant color on this jersey. There's a lot of color going on here. I'm okay with the shoulder patch, I think.
Yeah, the shoulder patch is probably what I like most about it.
Yep, and I like the note on the crest, but there's a whole lot of red going on here.
Yeah.
And again, talking about nostalgia, some of the franchise's best would have played in these jerseys. Wayne Gretzky, Brett Hull, Chris Pronger, so there's that nostalgia feel there.
Yeah, right.
But we're talking strictly jerseys here, and there's a lot of red.
Right. And as we move along, honestly, that will be probably a noticeable theme that a lot of these jerseys really went hard on the red.
Yeah.
Ironically, except for the Detroit Red Wings.
There you go.
Who just got rid of it altogether. What are you grading the St. Louis Blues, Michael?
I'll give it a C+.
C+?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that my highest mark to date? I think so.
C+. Okay. I think I'm going to, you know what, I was tempted to agree with you, but I'm just going to go one shade lower and give it a C.
Yeah, okay.
It doesn't, I would have given their 90s, the ones that these were inspired by.
Yeah.
I'll give those a C+. You know what, I'll even give those a B-.
Okay.
But these just too much red, not enough blue.
Yeah. There's no doubt in my mind we're talking about Music City here. You got the nice note on the front crest. You got the trumpet as part of the shoulder patch. I like how they're paying homage to it in that way. And like I said, I am a fan of the shoulder patch to an extent, but The red is too much for me.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Next, I don't know how this team's jersey made it into the top 27.
Yeah.
According to sportingnews.com. But at number 27 is the Arizona Coyotes. Your thoughts?
There's a lot going on here. And I don't mean that in a good... I'm just checking out the shoulder patch, and I guess that's their... It looks like a lizard.
Yeah.
And that is their homage to the fact that they play in the desert. They play in Arizona. How that is relevant to a team that is named the Arizona Coyotes, I don't entirely know. That's tough. The front crest... I'm not a huge fan, Lecter. I'm sorry. I like a deep purple. I do.
That's not deep enough.
No, the color is okay.
This is what's his face from the McDonald's mascot.
Oh, okay.
What's his name? The big purple one?
Oh, drawing a blank here too.
Missing it. Yeah,
I'll dig it up.
Yeah,
but
anyway,
and what's
that's
going
what
on?
The shade is.
Is that it looks almost like a bionic coyote. What's going on here?
So that's the head from the original Phoenix Coyotes.
Yeah.
When they first left Winnipeg, went down to Arizona.
Okay.
It was that head, but it was with a body, holding a hockey stick, and it was sort of in that same kind of like, I want to say like Incan almost style of art.
Okay.
So and actually the Arizona Coyotes recently went back to those jerseys. I think this past year, I think they played in those jerseys. And I mean, when they originally moved to Phoenix, me being from Winnipeg, I had to hate them.
Yes.
I had to hate everything about them.
Yep.
There was nothing I could like about them because it just went against everything as a heartbroken Winnipeg Jets fan.
Mm-hmm.
But so I hated those jerseys to begin with, and I've hated everything that the Phoenix/Arizona Coyotes have done ever since, and I laugh at their misfortunes, quite frankly. But when they went back to those original 95, 96 jerseys, I gave it a second thought. I was like, you know what? These weren't terrible. These were not too bad jerseys. If I didn't have that sting inside of me from losing my childhood team, I probably could have been like, you know what? These are okay.
Yeah.
These get a passing grade from me. These harken back to, I think there was a few years that went by, probably in like the early 2000s. I'm going to say like 2000, 2001, 2002. They had jerseys that were similar to this with the purple and orange kind of clash. They got the cactuses creeping up the bottom.
Yeah.
I feel like I like what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
But they're too bright.
Right.
They're too gaudy. They're just not good.
Yeah. And there's a lot going on at the bottom of the jerseys,
yes.
which, depending on if those are tucked or not, you might not really truly appreciate. You've got the desert landscape sort of incorporated into the bottom of the jersey, which, again, to your point, I think I like what they were trying to do. I just think they missed the mark a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they look like Grimace.
Grimace!
There
That's
he is.
the one. Thank you. Yes.
That's him.
Grimace, Barney. That's what that shade of purple is.
I like a deep purple, though.
Yeah.
I do like the color purple.
Yeah. But not this part.
Yeah.
Not this purple.
No.
All right, what are you giving it for a grade, Mike?
It's going to be a C.
It's going to be a C.
It's going to be a C.
Okay. Yeah. You know what? I'll agree with you there. Because like we both said, kind of like what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
But it's just there's too much going on.
Yep.
Simplicity often wins when it comes to jersey designs.
True.
There's nothing simple about this. It's overcomplicated.
But don't be too simple like the Detroit Red
Don't
Wings.
be too
you gotta
simple.
Strike that balance.
Have colors.
Yeah.
Just not these
do
colors.
Something.
Okay. Speaking of no colors or a franchise that decided to take a step back from color designs, coming in at number 26 in the sporting news list is the Dallas Stars, which I have to say really disappointed me because I don't think up until this point that the Dallas Stars have had a jersey that I haven't liked.
Yeah, it's true.
Right from the time when they moved from Minnesota, you go back to those early to mid 90s Dallas Stars jerseys. They were heavy on the black and mostly black and green. They were very simple. Mm-hmm. They were crisp. They had a good look to them. Then as they moved on, they started incorporating more gold into it, and it worked. It continued to work. And even their most recent jerseys, which are they've got the green from their current jerseys in these ones.
Yeah.
I love them. I honestly love them. So they're some of my favorite jerseys. And again, this is a franchise that I don't think has really had a bad jersey design up to this point. And I think their newest ones might be my favorites of all.
Yeah.
But these ones suck.
Like Detroit and Pittsburgh, it's another nice jersey lacking something.
Yeah.
Lacking punch. The coloration on the front crest, it's almost like it's in another body of white. So we got even multiple shades of white going on.
Which, what?
Yeah.
Why would you let that happen?
No, I think, so my thinking is this is an homage to the 1999 Stanley Cup winning team.
Yeah.
I actually saw a leak earlier in the summer for the Dallas Stars. One of my friends back home is a Dallas Stars fan.
Right.
And they leaked this like neon green, like glow in the dark. It looked like they were about to go paintballing.
Okay.
Or sorry, laser shooting.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that
that would have been better.
Nah, it was too green.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that was part of this retro series or another alternate that they might roll out at some point or another. I think they even had the photo shoots in a dark setting to really showcase how neon, how reflective this coloration was. Obviously not the same jersey here, because this one, again, just sort of lacking imagination outside of the crest. Not a whole lot going on.
Hey, you know what? Right, you're right. We never have had glow-in-the-dark jerseys before. Oh, that would have been interesting. That would have been something, at least.
We're certainly going to see a lot of color today.
Yeah. You know what I don't like most about these jerseys, other than pretty much everything? I don't like the three-tone numbers and letters where they have a black trim outline,
right?
White, like, inside trim, and then green middle. I don't like that.
Yeah.
It doesn't work for me. I find, other than that, the gold, and it's kind of tough to tell because I feel like the picture I'm looking at maybe isn't actually the best picture. Mm-hmm. Either that or the gold is just so washed out that it may as well not even be there.
Yeah.
It looks like it's another shade of white on the white background of the crest and the whiteness of the jersey itself. It's very dull, and the green and black don't do enough to me to help it at all.
Yeah. I think they get points for bringing back one of their better logos. I'm not crazy about the shoulder patch either. I get that you're the Lone Star State. I think that's the sort of the play right there, with the Lone Star in an outline that is
putting them on the map.
The shape of Texas. I would have even something as simple as just the star itself would have done it for me. So no, I'm going to dock points for the shoulder patch too.
Okay.
Multiple colors going on in the crest with the white and the green and the silver and the different shade of green and the black outline and
What are you grading this one?
It's going to be a C-.
C-.
Yeah, honestly, just like Detroit and Pittsburgh, there's a lot of white going on.
Yeah.
Outside of the crest, there's not too much.
Yeah, I am going to go exactly with you on that one. And congratulations, Dallas. You have somehow scored lower than those Arizona Coyotes jerseys. All right, on to the next one. The New York Islanders came in at number 25, which is kind of a little bit surprising. I think they were maybe ranked so low in this list because just not enough change.
Yeah.
I feel like whoever wrote this also, I feel like they were a fan of the sea captain, the fish sticks captain.
That's right.
Which is often remarked upon as one of the worst logos and jersey designs in NHL history.
Yeah.
I feel like this person just has a bit of an affinity for gaudy designs.
Uh-huh.
So I think that they're ranking them at number 25 because it just didn't do enough. There's not really anything different. And quite frankly, there isn't much different from the jerseys that the Islanders have now gone back to, which is basically their late 70s, early 80s when they won all their Stanley Cups. That's basically the jersey design they're rocking now. This one is pretty much that, except I think even closer to that 70s, 80s style. So basically what they're already wearing, but just a bit more basic.
Yeah, it sounds like it's meant to be an homage of the early 1980s dynasty.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Thinking of this one, I don't really know if there's a whole lot more they could have done. So in the sense, it's hard to say it's retro because looking at it at face value, not that much of a difference from its typical jersey.
That's basically their current jersey.
Yeah. And I don't know if that's a bad thing.
No, I don't think it is either.
I actually don't mind this.
Yeah. I agree that they didn't really do a whole lot.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for, points for inspiration and creativity and hard work, you're not going to allot them here.
Right.
But as far as just pure jersey design goes, I think their jerseys right now are the ones that they should stay with till the end of time anyway.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like I have no issue with these. So I'm going to give them a B because it's an uninspiring mark.
Right.
But I guess they had to do something,
exactly.
Right? Yeah.
That's it, right? So are we grading it? We're not grading them on how reverse retro they are, quote unquote.
No.
I mean, that factors in. I think we're largely grading them on how good they look and what they're going to look like when they're rolled out over the course of the upcoming season.
Basically, they did what Detroit should have done.
Yes.
Just change nothing.
Right. And I do like it. I'm going to give it a B as well. I think it's a good look. I like the coloration. I like the shoulder crest. I like the back. No, they didn't change it too much, and that is not necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah.
We're not grading them on how genuinely retro they are. We're grading them on how they look.
Okay.
And I think they look pretty good.
I agree with that. Moving on to the Washington Capitals, who came in at number 24. Them very much falling into the theme or seeming theme that we mentioned earlier, where there's a whole lot of red going on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know if I like it. I'm very on the fence with these ones. I feel like if it was a hoodie or like a t-shirt, I think it would be okay.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that I like it as a jersey. I also, and I think the Buffalo Sabres, and we'll get to them a little bit later on, but I think they had a similar design with the banner or the stripes at the bottom, where they have the team name inserted into the stripes at the bottom.
Yeah.
I don't know that I like that style.
No. You're not a fan of the diagonal either, the diagonal font?
I don't so much mind the diagonal. I don't like the team name in the middle of it.
Yeah.
I don't know why. It just looks kind of cheap to me.
Yeah.
I can't even really explain it, but there's something about it that I don't like.
I don't know if they're tugging at my heartstring. First of all, when I see this, I just think of America.
Yeah.
Like, we got a whole lot of blue, red, and white.
Right.
We've got the Screaming Eagle, which they brought back, which I'm actually kind of a fan of. You've got the Big Bell. You've got you look at that shoulder patch, you know you are watching a team from Washington.
Isn't that the top of the White House? Isn't that what that
what it is?
Design is?
Oh, yeah, no, that would make way more sense.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of...
There's no Liberty Bells in Washington?
I'm thinking about America right now. That's even more Washington.
Yeah.
You got the puck, you got the sticks, you got the star, the Screaming Eagle's back.
Even the
red,
font,
white, and blue. Even
the font on the shoulder patch. There's very presidential office about it.
Yeah. Like, this is America.
Yeah.
On a jersey right now.
Yeah.
And I don't hate it.
You know what? You've made me like it.
There's a lot going on. Don't get me wrong, but I don't hate it.
Okay. Fair. And and it's very easy to see as far as, again, the retro, the reverse retro angle of it. It's very just easy to see where the inspiration is coming from. The red is obviously from that 80s Washington Capitals style, where they did have a lot of red. It was kind of broken up a little bit. Then they went to the blue through like the mid 90s, mid to late 90s. Yeah. They've actually had a lot of jersey designs.
Yeah,
now
they
that
have.
I think about it.
Yeah.
I don't. You've kind of inspired me. Actually, I like it more than I originally thought I did. What are you giving it for a grade?
Well, I'm just embarrassed. I thought that was a bell. First of all, thank you for correcting me.
No worries.
I want to give it a B+.
B+.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like it. There's a lot going on, and it's a little too America.
Right.
But I like it. I love that they brought the Screaming Eagle back.
Yeah.
and I like the coloration.
Okay. B+. You know what? I was probably going to give it a C+. I think I've upgraded to a B-.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. There we go. Well done. Well done celebrating America, Washington. Okay. Number 23 on the sporting news list is the Boston Bruins.
Mm-hmm.
They are bringing back a whole lot of yellow.
Yeah.
Now, if the Bruins had a whole lot of red on their jersey, something really would have been up. Luckily, that is not the case. The only red you're going to find on this jersey is a part of the shoulder patch, which I had never heard this bear described this way before, but I'm glad I have as of today. The meth bear.
The meth bear.
I've never heard of the meth bear before, but now looking at the shoulder patch, I see why it's called the meth bear.
Didn't they have like a brown bear, like crest at some point before?
Are you thinking of the early 2000, like their previous all yellow one?
Yeah. This is my first meeting with the meth bear, and I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy about it. The yellow looks a little off. You obviously, it just feels like this is another Original Six team that's kind of missed the mark a little bit.
Right.
The yellow is a tone off. Obviously, you can't stray too far from the black, the yellow, and the white.
Yeah.
But it just looks one tone off to me. It's a little too light.
Yeah, you're right. It is a bit too. It's not quite a deep enough yellow. I think. Yeah.
The back is fine. It's a little bland. The shoulder patch, I've never seen that bear before.
Well, because even the yellow on the crest itself, the Bruins, the front chest crest, it looks like a deeper yellow than the actual jersey. And I mean, maybe that was to make it stand out. I'm sure that was the thinking behind that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, you're right. It does look a little bit too light. The meth bear, by the way, was the shoulder patch on the original, like the 1960s, 1970s Boston Bruins jersey. So that's a throwback to, of course, like the Bobby Orr, Phil Esposito era. But for the rest, I don't know where else he could have gone. They have white jerseys. They have black jerseys. They've done yellow jerseys in the past, but we haven't really seen them in quite a while. The previous yellow jerseys were, again, they often show up on ugliest jerseys of all time. Mm-hmm. And they did, as you mentioned, have the brown bear face on the front. Terrible jerseys. These are an upgrade on that. So I feel like I'm going to give them a B. Mm-hmm. A B for Bruins.
A B for Bruins. I will give them a B-.
A B-.
A B-.
Okay, that's very fair. I like that. Long live the meth bear.
Yeah. Thank you for introducing my world.
There you go.
The meth bear.
All right. On to number 22. We continue with the whole lot of red theme. This one, the Columbus Blue Jackets.
Yes. Does this one also just scream America to you?
It does.
Yeah.
Columbus's jerseys in recent years have more and more screamed America. Mm-hmm. Certainly since they adopt what is now the shoulder patch with the cannon.
Yep.
Do you remember their original jerseys with the bug, the fly, with that awful bright green color on it?
I don't think so. No.
I think those were their original like expansion year jerseys, and they were panned. Like absolutely everybody hated them. And it just made the prospect of playing hockey in Columbus just that much more bleak. Mm-hmm. They've done a lot to improve on that, to improve on the brand. Obviously, they've actually been a pretty decent team in recent years, which always helps. Yep. Winning does cure all and will always cure all, no matter how ugly your jersey is. Although those Detroit jerseys, they're not going to win this year anyway, so we probably don't have to worry about that happening. But these are, whole lot of America theme going on. Just red, white, and blue in your face. They're also a team that doesn't have a lot of retro to draw on.
No.
Per se. So it's more just like a redesign of where their colors and their scheme was already headed.
Yeah.
I don't hate them, but I don't love them. No. But that pretty much goes for almost every jersey of Columbus I've seen.
I like the shoulder patch. I kind of do like the front crest, too. I'm not crazy about the departure from the deep blue, which had sort of become their jersey in most recent years anyways.
Right.
And again, the theme of red, which is the theme of the day for these reverse retro jerseys. I'm not crazy about the departure from the blue.
What are you giving it for a grade?
I'll give it a B minus.
B minus. Yeah. Okay. I'm not in love with them. I also don't hate them. As far as the whole lot of red theme goes, these might be among my favorites of those, but that's not saying much. I'm just really happy for them and everyone who claims to be a Columbus Blue Jackets fan that they didn't lean into what would have been their actual retro. Those first jerseys, honestly, look up that color green.
That bad.
Just the most disgusting thing.
Ouch.
You maybe have it can only be described as slime green. So I'm going to give them a B because don't love them, don't hate them. They're just kind of somewhere in the middle. So there you go. On to, I think, our first Canadian franchise that we've touched on.
Another red jersey.
Yeah. They somehow, all the Canadian franchises have managed to stay out of the absolute basement.
This is good.
On this list, but we come upon our first one, and appropriately enough, when we're talking about the basement, it is the Ottawa Senators.
Another red jersey, arguably the best jersey, the best red jersey. Certainly the one we've seen up to this point anyways.
Yeah, you know what? I forget what I said about Columbus is. These are my favorite of the red, the whole lot of red theme.
So we're going back to, this is an homage to their inaugural season in 1992. I like the shoulder patch. I always like their crest, their original crest.
Yeah.
They've got it front and center. It's simple. There's not too much coloration going on other than the white, black, and the red. It's relatively simple in that regard, and the back also it's not crazy imaginative, but I'm not docking points for that. I think it's sometimes simple is best. I really do like the shoulder patch.
Yeah, the worst thing I can say about it is that it's a bit uninspiring.
Yeah,
I think even maybe just adding a bit of that gold trim to the black stripes on the arms and on the waist. That probably would have been a slight improvement, but I don't know. Maybe they thought that would just be like too close to their. But I don't think their original jerseys were red. I think they just had black and white uniforms, and then in later years, in like the early 2000s, they started to dabble into full red jerseys. But then they started getting into that Sens crest.
Yeah,
it's like they were trying to. Yeah, it's like they were trying to modernize and like market to the kids more.
Simplify it.
Yeah, because
four letters.
Kids don't like that Roman senator look.
No.
Well, that's too political for the children. But like you say, it's a classic crest. It's there's nothing gaudy about it. It's very simple. It's very crisp. Not super inspiring. Not super exciting. But it's also far from awful.
Yeah, pretty average.
I'm going to give this one a B as well.
For that reason, I'm going to give it a B because it's average.
Okay.
It's not like their capital counterpart in Washington that just screams America. This is, we're talking about Canada, so it's a little more classy, a little more refined.
Yeah.
But just kind of vanilla, I guess.
It just politely but firmly says Canada.
We're in the capital city.
That's right. All right, number 20, the Philadelphia Flyers. A jersey that I don't really have feelings about it either way.
No.
It's kind of, so basically they've kind of stuck with, they haven't done a whole lot different.
No.
Really the only thing that they've done different is they've got the shoulder stripes kind of wrapping around the bicep and then just white sleeves underneath that. I don't hate it. I don't particularly love it.
Yeah.
I can't imagine that Flyers fans are particularly crazy about it either.
No.
But I also don't imagine that they're, going to like light a fire and throw them in a pile anytime soon either. They're just kind of,
It's kind of like the New York Islanders logo for me. I mean, I don't know if there was a ton that they could have really done with it.
Yeah.
I like the coloration. It's consistent with what they've done. And this one is paying homage to the Legion of Doom. Eric Lindros, John LeClaire.
The Orange Crush.
Renberg.
Yeah.
No, I'm okay with this one. They didn't stray too much. They know what works, and I'm okay with the coloration, the crest. Yeah.
The nice thing for the Philadelphia Flyers is that when you've got the black and orange color scheme, there's not a lot of ways you can go wrong with it.
No.
So if they had tried to do something kind of outlandish, you could have seen maybe this jersey just kind of falling flat a little bit. But by and large, for the most part, they stuck with kind of a classic Philadelphia Flyers look. Yep. Aside from, of course, like a small wrinkle with the shoulder stripe wrapping around the bicep area. It's nothing particularly exciting, but it's also, again, far from the worst thing we've seen.
I'm glad they didn't introduce more white. I think that I don't know if that would have paired nicely, but this is okay. Very strong in the orange and the black. I think visually it's okay.
What are you going to give it for a grade?
I'm going to give it another B.
Going to give it another B. Okay. I'm going to be just a little harsher and give it a B minus. Okay. Because I just, like I said, the black and orange will always look good.
Yeah.
But they didn't really do anything interesting. So I don't know. Maybe I'm just being harsh because it's Philadelphia.
They don't get points for creativity.
You know what? They booed Santa Claus.
Yeah.
So that's why they get a B minus.
That's right.
Speaking of orange and perhaps a little bit too much orange, or maybe not enough, or just in the wrong places, we get to the next Canadian franchise that factors onto the list. Number 19, the Edmonton Oilers.
A little bit too much white for me.
Yeah.
There's a lot of white going on.
Yeah.
You've got, of course, you can't go wrong with the patch and the crest. You're obviously not going to tweak that. I like the blue, the orange, the Oilers. You'd expect that wouldn't change. But yeah, no, I don't know. I'm not crazy about the white jerseys today.
Yeah. It's like they just basically took what they are all, and I mean, the Oilers, kind of like the Islanders, have done that, gone back to their classic 80s look and basically run with that. Apparently, these are almost exactly what the original 1979 like WHA Edmonton Oilers were wearing. And they have a very 1979 WHA kind of feel to them.
Yeah.
There is something to me that just doesn't work about having the blue dominant crest, the classic Oilers crest with the orange oil drop in the on the front crest, and then having orange dominant numbers and letters on the back. It just strikes me as inconsistent.
So this is apparently the first time that they've had orange shoulders and letters on a white jersey. And I'm not crazy about it. There isn't enough of a contrast there. It's a little bit too much on the eyes, I think.
Yeah.
I would have preferred something darker, even the blue. But again, it just feels like there's a bit too much white on the front, and I'm not crazy about the contrast of the orange on the white.
What are you giving these for a grade?
I'm going to go a B minus.
B minus. I, once again, am going to go just a little bit harsher, and I'm going to give them a C. I'll give them a plus on that C because, I mean, there's no red.
Yeah.
And the Oilers have had red in their jersey schemes before, so I'm just happy to see no red, but quite frankly, I think they're a bit on the ugly side. Anyway, sorry, Oilers fans. On to number 18, the Buffalo Sabres, which is almost a perfect crossroads of all of the iteration of Buffalo jerseys designs that we have seen over the years. They've got the kind of newer, or like the late 90s Dominic Hasek era Buffalo shoulder patch, which I don't hate.
Should have been the crest.
Yeah, maybe should have been the crest. The Sabres, with the circle background, it's not particularly interesting.
No.
It's never really done anything for me. I don't, and of course the color scheme, the light yellow and lighter blue of the 80s Buffalo Sabres classic jerseys, which is again kind of what they're rocking now. It is like, as far as what you could possibly define reverse retro is, I think we're all trying to still figure that out for ourselves. This is probably the most reverse retro question mark. It kind of factors all of them in there while getting that black and red scheme out of there. Again, they get marks for having no red.
You
got the gray in there. You got the yellow and the blue, the more modern crest as the shoulder patch. I don't like, I think it definitely loses marks for the chest crest for me.
I think if you swap the shoulder patch on the front crest, that would do a little bit more for me.
Yeah.
And I actually might disagree with you. I think I want the red and the black back. At least
you want more red?
At least for this jersey, but in tasteful little bits.
Okay.
Maybe just for the shoulder patch, which I would prefer to be on the crest.
Right.
I miss that logo.
Okay.
And maybe have the sabers, the actual swords, as the shoulder patch.
I'm sorry, Michael, but only the St. Louis Blues can pull off a color scheme of blue.
That's right.
Yellow and red.
Yeah.
All right. Let's not go nuts here.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. What are you grading the Buffalo Sabres?
Yeah. This will be a C+.
C+.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna go with a C+ too. I think this is the Buffalo Sabres color scheme.
Yeah. Their new one.
Yeah, it definitely loses marks for the front crest because it sucks.
Yeah.
And
it's just simple.
But the shoulder patch is good.
Yeah.
That gives it that saves it a C+.
I want more patch.
All right. On to what is lit up Twitter, of course.
Yeah.
Number 17, our third Canadian franchise, the Toronto Maple Leafs. Mike?
This one's bad.
It's bad.
I don't like it. I really don't like the shoulder patch.
Yeah.
Why do we have 3 different colors going on there? I don't know. No, I don't like the front either. I don't like the different shade of the blue on the number on the back.
Nope.
And then we've got this weird off gray stripe down the side. I don't like it at all.
It seems to be drawing inspiration from the late 60s, perhaps the Leafs' last Stanley Cup team, that era, front of jersey crest, which is like just after the crest that they've used as third jerseys, and like I think have actually used in their most recent jerseys. The beautiful, intricate maple leaf crest that you ask any Toronto Maple Leafs fan across the globe, they will tell you that is the best crest.
And they only recently brought it back.
And they only recently brought it back. Yeah.
And it was a really nice touch, but they're getting away from it here.
This one is such a step back.
This might be the worst shoulder patch I've seen yet.
So the shoulder patch, I think, was from a 1980s, like circa late 1980s style, which I don't think any Leafs fan really wants to remark upon. That was a dark era as far as the Toronto Maple Leafs goes. I agree with you. I don't like that the numbers, and this might just be a picture thing again as well. Yeah. It looks like the blue in the numbers is a different shade than the blue on the jerseys.
Yeah.
That's not good. I don't like the block styling of the numbers. They're too bulky.
Yeah. It looks really cheap. It looks like a practice, like a really cheap.
It looks like someone made it themselves at home.
Yeah.
Yeah. It also,
I really don't know. I agree. I don't like the block numbers at all.
It also
the stencil style like this. No.
It has a crayon feel to it. I don't even know how to describe that, but I got a message from Jay Bear today.
Yeah. He doesn't like them.
No, and he said, quote, "Is it just me or does this look like it was designed by children?"
This looks like it should be in a bargain bin somewhere at a retail store. It really does. Like this.
Oh.
Wow. I don't like it at all.
And I mean, the Leafs have had some bad jerseys. You know, you go back to like 2007, around there, just post the most recent, or maybe it was 2005, somewhere in that like mid 2000s range.
Yeah.
And you remember they had those jerseys where they just like, they got rid of the bottom stripes, and they were kind of like the Detroit Red Wings jerseys are of these ones. They're just so plain that they actually looked like practice jerseys.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those were better than these.
Yeah.
These are awful.
There's too much going on.
There is way too much going on.
For something that should be simple.
Maybe too much history.
Yeah.
I don't know. Tried to like mash it into this one jersey design.
Certainly one of the more storied franchises, but another original 6 that didn't quite hit it for me.
Falls way short of the mark.
Yeah.
What are you grading it?
Oh, this is going to be a D+. Like this is not good.
Yeah. Okay. D+, and I'm going to give it an F.
It's not good.
I got to be honest.
It's really not good. Yeah. And we're going to get to some original 6 jerseys that I think absolutely hit it out of the park.
Yeah.
But this isn't one of them.
This is not one of them. No. Oof. All right, that's enough. Again, they don't even get marks for not going red.
Yeah. Yeah.
That might have been an improvement somehow. Anyway, enough about that awfulness. It is time for some marginally better awfulness.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like there will be very, very mixed feelings on this one. Maybe among the most mixed feelings. Number 16, another Canadian franchise, the Vancouver Canucks.
Again, tugging at the heartstrings. We're going back to the early 2000s. You think of the Sedin twins when they were just making their mark in the league. Marcus Naslund. Always
Todd Bertuzzi.
Trevor Linden. How about him instead?
Matthias Ohlund.
Yeah, I like the coloration. I've always kind of liked how they've matched the green with the blue. I really like the crest. Again, it just feels like there's too much going on.
Yeah,
they've got sort of the green blending into the blue on the back. The crest does it for me. I really like the crest. They're going to get points there. Again, there's just a little too much going on, I think.
I saw a controversial opinion put out on Twitter today, that being the Orca crest is the best crest that the Vancouver Canucks have ever had.
Yeah.
And at first I thought, whoa, bold statement.
Yeah.
And then I thought back, like, no, that's 100% right.
Yeah.
Any other crest that you may like better of the Vancouver Canucks is purely for nostalgia purposes.
Yeah.
You picture Pavel Bure wearing that whatever style that was skate jersey.
Yep.
Hey, I liked it too because Pavel Bure was amazing to watch.
Yep.
But you'd take Pavel Bure and Alex McGillney out of the equation, and that is an awful jersey.
Yeah.
And then let's not even start talking about before that when they had, again, one of those worst jerseys of all time lists, the Vancouver Canucks. You think of Stan Smeel. It's awful. When I first look at these, I don't like them.
Yeah.
The more I look at them, the more I like them.
Yeah.
I don't really know how to describe it. I think maybe it's the fact that the fades, the dark blue and green fade, it feels like they're reaching, but color-wise, it meshes well.
Yep.
And quite frankly, those two colors really represent Vancouver seemingly well.
Right?
Very
coastal city.
Yeah, and very aquatic.
Yep.
Type color feels.
Yep.
I like it the more I look at it.
Yeah. Definitely. I love the crest. And I've always loved the green and the blue. It just feels like there's a little bit too much going on in the back.
Yeah.
But you're right. Like the more you look at it, they have found a way to blend it in kind of nicely, subtly, seamlessly.
What are you giving it for a mark?
I'll give it a B.
Give it a B.
Yeah.
Okay.
I really like the crest.
I'll give it a B on first glance, B plus after more consideration.
Okay.
Okay, so there you go. Vancouver Canucks so far scoring the highest of the Canadian franchises. And we move on to the Nashville Predators, which I don't have a lot to say about these jerseys.
No.
Now there's a couple as we get into the top half of this list, this particular list from sportingnews.com.
Yeah.
There's a few that when I first look at them, I don't immediately notice anything different. This is kind of one of them.
Yeah.
The Nashville Predators have kind of, and I mean, again, they've been in existence for, I guess, about 20 years now. I think 2000 was their first expansion.
1998.
98.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this is kicking it back to that original jersey.
Okay. And I don't, maybe I don't pay enough attention to the Nashville Predators, but it just doesn't, maybe their changes have just been so subtle that I haven't really taken notice of them. I like the number fonts. I don't mind the yellow because I think it works well with the dark blue and the silver.
Yeah.
And I've always liked the Nashville Predators crest.
Me too.
I've always thought it's a sharp crest, not too much going on. The shoulder patch,
it's something.
It's a little Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
But it's not terrible.
Yeah.
I don't know. I give this one. I think I give this one a B plus.
I'm thinking B.
You
I
think
like
it'd be?
the front is very simple.
Yeah.
I like it. I like the coloration. The shoulder patch is a little extra. It's different. I haven't seen that before. I'm not crazy about the back with the black and the yellow and the white. But I really like the front crest, and the shoulder patch is a little different. It's not a huge departure from what we're used to seeing from them. So par for the course.
Okay. All right. So there we go. Nashville Predators on to number 14. And for the life of me, again, as I alluded to earlier, I think whoever wrote this list has a particular affinity for the mid to late 90s kind of cartoony era of NHL jersey designs, because somehow at number 14, that is where they, in the top half of the league, they have placed the Anaheim Ducks.
Yeah.
I hate these jerseys.
I am not a fan at all. I really like the shoulder patch. That's it. Paying homage to the Wild Wing. Yeah. You think of the Mighty Ducks. That logo is back on the shoulder patch. Otherwise, they've got this weird font on the back. Cartoony. Like, is that Comic Sans MS? I don't know. We got some childlike typography over here.
Yeah.
And again, and I think we disagreed with the Penguins cartoony type logo.
Yes.
I'm not a huge fan of this move towards this more cartoony type imagery on the front of the logo. I do like the shoulder patch quite a bit. If that was the focal point, I would be much more okay with this jersey, but yikes.
So you, of course, remember the Mighty Ducks movies.
Yeah.
Do you remember the Mighty Ducks cartoon series?
Not much, no.
So the character on the front of the jersey who is busting through the ice, his name is Wild Wing.
Okay.
He was the mascot when they were the Mighty Ducks. I don't know if he's still currently the mascot now that they've dropped the Mighty and it's just the Anaheim Ducks and they don't really draw from that Disney association anymore. But yeah, the fact that this made it into the top half of the league, I have to think whoever made this list watched that cartoon religiously and absolutely loved it. And to be fair, it was a great cartoon. These jerseys are not great.
No.
I hate everything about it. I hate the fonts of the letters.
Oh, yeah.
I hate the font of the numbers.
Yeah.
I hate that color of teal.
Yes.
Or whatever that is.
Yep.
I hate the animation, the goofy cartoon design on the front of Wild Wing busting out of the ice. I don't care how great a character Wild Wing was. The only thing I remotely like about it is that in my mind I can picture Teemu Selanne circa 1996 wearing these jerseys and having another 50-goal season.
Yeah.
Other than that, and like the best thing about the original Anaheim Mighty Ducks jerseys was the purple.
Yes.
They had the purple.
Absolutely.
They had a little bit of this green, but I don't think it was quite that teal.
Yep.
And gray trim.
Yep.
That was the best part about those jerseys.
I
was
entirely
that color
agree.
of purple.
Yep.
That is gone, and all you have is that awful teal, white, a little bit of black, and just this goofy ass crest.
Yeah. No. The crest absolutely does it for me.
These get a without question F from me.
Now I'm looking at the old school with the purple and the little bit of the teal, like you said.
They were nice.
They're dynamite.
Yeah.
And you've got that crest, which is now on the shoulder, right in the front. If you move that to the center for me and somehow incorporate that purple back in, you're getting big-time marks. I hate the cartoon. I hate the font. This is definitely a D.
Giving it a D.
Giving it a D.
Okay.
That's bad.
That is... That's awfully kind of you, I gotta say. But nevertheless, we move on from that unpleasantness. But we stay in California.
Yep.
On to the San Jose Sharks, who slotted in at number 13. You know what? I have not... I don't think, other than like maybe their first crest, when they first were an expansion team, which I think would have been like 91, 92, somewhere in there. Those jerseys, I don't remember being a big fan of.
Yeah.
The Artur Zerbe era, if you will.
Okay.
Ever since then, I think I have liked every San Jose jersey I've seen more and more as the years go by. Now, these ones, they are mainly gray, a very light gray. That is the main color. Mm-hmm. They've got kind of wraparound striping on the sleeves, black, white, and the classic San Jose Sharks teal. They've got the classic Sharks crest biting through the hockey stick on the front. And all I think of when I look at these jerseys is Owen Nolan in his prime.
Yeah.
I love them.
These are okay. I definitely like them. I think I probably would have preferred something a little bit darker. I'm not crazy about the gray, but I get it because, just looking at their standard home and away jerseys, there's a lot of teal. There's a lot of black. So this is different. You're not going to play around with the crest, which is perfect.
Yeah.
And I think the colors go together pretty nicely.
Yeah.
I like this one.
I'm giving this one a nice, I'm giving this one an A.
I was going to say B+. Yeah.
B+. Okay. A from Lekter, B+ from Mike. Well done, San Jose, keeping the memory of Owen Nolan alive and well, even though he's not dead. And we move on to the Florida Panthers, which, as I mentioned earlier, there were several jerseys when I first looked at them. I didn't notice anything different from what they're currently wearing.
Yeah.
Probably because I don't pay enough attention to the Florida Panthers because, quite frankly, they rarely ever give us a reason to pay attention to them.
Yep.
Aside from, the odd Alex Huberdeau, Alexander Barkov, or Jonathan Huberdeau, sorry, Alexander Barkov, highlight of the night.
Yep.
Those two are fantastic. Other than that, ever since their 1995 unexpected playoff run, the Florida Panthers have been completely unremarkable.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Jaromir Jagr played there one season. That's something. But I like these jerseys.
I do too, actually. I really like the shoulder patch. I like that they're bringing back the jumping panther.
Yeah.
Right on the front crest.
Yeah.
I really like that. I think that's a nice departure from the current, more tame panther. This I associate with the Panthers of the past. I like that. I like that crest. I like the shoulder patch. You got the palm tree and the hockey stick.
Yeah,
The coloration.
With the sun in the background.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It works for me.
Yeah.
I really like the front. I like the coloration. I like the shoulder patch. The back is fine too. I don't hate this jersey at all.
It's an A for me.
It's an A.
I would wear this jersey.
It's a nice jersey.
I don't care about the Florida Panthers, but I would wear this jersey.
That's I'm going to give my first A. This is an A-.
Yes.
I like it.
Well done, Florida.
I can see people walking in this jersey.
Let's give them something to talk about. Florida Panthers.
The bringing back the jumping panther for me. That's what did it.
John Van Beesbrook, baby.
Yep. Yeah, just like the Capitals bringing back the diving eagle. I like this. You got to bring back the fierce logos.
Yes,
and they've done it here.
All right, so we will hang around in Florida for a brief as we take a look at your defending Stanley Cup champions, slotting in at number 11, the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Yeah, I like these too. I like the typography. The crest is nice. The coloration, you're obviously not going to deviate from the blue, black, and the white.
Yep.
I'm not crazy about the shoulder patch.
Shoulder patch is kind of, you covered that.
Yeah. But I like the front. I like the back. I'm not getting too crazy with too much coloration here. And I like the font, bringing that back for the front crest. This isn't a bad jersey either.
Yeah. I wish that maybe they had found a way to incorporate a bit more silver.
Okay, yeah. I can see that.
Yeah, other than just the, a little bit of trim here and there. I don't think it looks bad for what they did come up with. I love the crest. I always thought that was a decent. I mean, it's pretty simple. It's, nothing to remark about, but it's now classic, that Tampa Bay crest. The only thing I would say is that the black on the collar and the bottom trim looks like it's not entirely sure that it's supposed to be there.
Right.
It just
I would agree. I would agree.
Yeah.
If you just keep the bottom white, you mean?
Yeah, I mean, and I don't know that would necessarily make it better, but it just looks like the black is just kind of like,
Yeah.
I guess I'm supposed to be here. So I overall, I like these jerseys. They are as far as the melding of what reverse retro could be defined as. These ones pretty much check all the boxes for the Tampa Bay Lightning. So I'll give these ones a B.
I was going to say B.
Yeah. Okay. Couple of Bs. That would describe us well on Cabin Sports Radio. Let me just put your B in there, Mike. Okay. And we move on.
It is report card season.
Our top 10. In case you haven't noticed, we are in overtime here on Cabin Sports Radio because it's a very special episode.
That's right.
We are in the top 10 running down the new reverse retro jerseys as revealed by the NHL today, and slotting in at number 10, the Calgary Flames. Mm-hmm. Michael, what do you think of this?
They're bringing back Blasty.
Was that the horse's name?
That's his name.
Blasty.
Blasty.
Oh, that makes me like it less.
Right on the front. I like the shoulder patch. I like the. You know what? I kind of like the incorporation of the yellow towards the bottom. You got the trim right at the bottom.
Yep.
On the front and the back, and in the number schemes on the back as well. And bringing back. Well, so does that take you back to Jerome?
It does,
Jerome
absolutely. I had no idea that horse had a name, let alone that it was Blasty.
Blasty.
What kind of a name is that?
Let me absolutely confirm that for you, but I'm quite...
No, you are right. I'm looking at it now.
Blasty has made a triumphant return.
Ugh.
The Flames reinstating their 1980s look on a full-time basis earlier this offseason.
1980s look?
The fiery horse head.
What
was the choice
80s?
For this throwback?
How was this 80s?
I don't know.
I don't understand what they're talking about there.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, yeah, this, I feel like I don't know. I feel like I shouldn't like this jersey, but I do because when I look at it, first of all, I think this is what the Vegas Golden Knights really wanted to be.
Yeah. There are a lot of similarities here.
Yeah. And when I look at it, it just automatically, like you alluded to, makes me think of Jarome Iginla.
Yeah.
This was like their early 2000s, their Stanley Cup run that fell just short to the aforementioned Tampa Bay Lightning. And Jarome Iginla was undeniable. He was arguably the best player in the NHL at that time. And I automatically picture him in these jerseys. Yep. And so for that reason, I think for nostalgia purposes, I like it. There's not a whole lot different or really that interesting going on. If you just told me that this was exactly the jerseys from that era, I would have believed you because I couldn't pick out any differences. So I think for that reason, it loses a bit of marks for creativity to me. Maybe there are some differences that are just escaping me. That could very well be the case. But yeah, I think loses a little bit of marks for creativity. There's obviously the Flames in recent years have kind of gone back to those early 90s jersey styles, which I love. I think that same as the Oilers, same as the Islanders, that's exactly where they should have headed with their jersey designs. They did that. So there's a lot of history to draw on with the Calgary Flames.
Yeah.
I don't know that they necessarily did that with these, but for pure Jarome Iginla kicking ass and taking names, nostalgia purposes, I'll give this one a B as well.
Yeah, this is going to be a B+.
A B?
Yeah, I like the coloration. I really like the shoulder patch. I like the yellow and the red trim all around. And, tipping their cowboy hat to the Calgary Stampede.
Very nice.
By reintroducing Blasty.
Okay.
I'm a fan. I like the coloration.
Ugh.
Yeah, I don't like the name.
I don't like that name.
No, I don't like the name at all.
No.
But I like the logo.
Something other than Blasty. Name it Craig Conroy or something. All right, on to the next Canadian franchise, slotting in at number 9. And quite frankly, I don't know how. The Winnipeg Jets. I don't like these jerseys at all.
I don't either.
Yeah.
No.
I don't understand, quite frankly, where the other than the crest is obviously 1980s, very early 1990s. They might have actually already abandoned this crest by the 1990s, but it is obviously that crest of the Winnipeg Jets 1.0 franchise, which is great. That's a great crest. They have used it on their last 2 heritage jersey designs, which were both fantastic. So beautiful. They drew... those are what their reverse retro jerseys should have been.
Yeah.
I feel like these are a result of them blowing out the tanks the last 2 years.
Yeah.
With those heritage, they had the white and then they had the blue heritage jerseys.
I love the blue.
They're just both so gorgeous.
Oh, yeah.
I love them so much. And it's like these look like a saluting the military day jersey design.
Yeah. I think the Winnipeg Jets here are victims of having a really good jersey.
Yeah.
They're their current home and away, and some of the throwbacks ones that you just alluded to are so good.
Yeah.
That I think maybe we had the bar set a little too high for this franchise.
Yeah.
Because they have very nice jerseys. But yeah, no, the crest is fine. Again, I'm not crazy about the introduction of the gray, the white stripe. There's a little bit too much going on, a little bit too much extracurricular activity. Otherwise,
Yeah.
I'm not sold on it.
I'm also not. I don't hate the double blue. I've never hated the 2 shades of blue in the Jets 2.0 franchise color schemes. But for a team that loves to celebrate its 1.0 version heritage, for a team that was one of the few in NHL history to wear red pants, you gotta have more red in there.
Yeah.
You gotta have
more
some red.
Wow, more red.
It's part of their scheme.
Yeah.
It's part of their identity. And I mean, even in their current, just generic home and away jerseys, there's not a lot of red, but the jet itself and the leaf behind it, adds the red in, and it's just a nice, deep touch that makes it. That's all you need. This doesn't have any red in it.
No.
It's colorblind.
Yeah.
That's what. Yeah. No, this one, the Jets gets a D from me.
It's okay. It's a C.
You give it a C
for me.
I guess I was tempted to give it an F, but I could see why some people might like it. So yeah, I'll give it a passing grade. So you gave it a C?
A C.
Okay. Don't want to mess up these grades now.
Yeah.
This is imperative that we keep this honest and transparent. All right, off the Jets, on to
Christmas.
One of my favorites. One of my
Me too.
favorites.
I can't explain it.
Number 8, the New Jersey Devils. And as Mike just mentioned, yes, Christmas is here. They've gone back to the green and the red.
Yeah.
Classic color scheme, green, red, and white. No frills, no gimmicks, except instead of it being red dominant with green highlights, now you got green dominant. Basically what they did is they looked at the Minnesota Wild and said, we're taking our colors back.
Yep. And it works.
And it works.
It works big time. It's Christmas in November. The coloration is on point.
Yes.
And it works really nicely with the white. It's relatively simple.
Yep.
But it just works.
Yeah.
I really like the crest, the shoulder patch, the coloration. It's nice. This jersey, surprisingly enough, it really works for me.
It gets an A+ from me.
Yeah, this is
top marks.
This is another A.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
For a franchise, an A?
An A.
You're not going to give it that plus.
No, it's an A.
Okay.
I'm reserving 1 A+. I have a winner.
Okay.
I have a winner.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
And obviously we haven't got to it yet, but it's the winner for me.
Oh, I think I know what it is.
Yeah, I think you do.
You know what? Actually, I'm going to downgrade my New Jersey Devils to an A as well.
Okay.
Because
you too have a winner?
I too have a winner, and
okay.
I was reminded of it just now by scrolling down because it's the next franchise.
Okay.
Number 7, the Carolina Hurricanes just went straight Hartford Whalers.
Yeah, they did.
And I say, yeah, baby.
Yeah.
You cannot go wrong with the best crest in NHL history.
It's really, really good.
It's amazing.
It's really good.
It looks so crisp.
Yeah.
The shoulder patch, just the bulbous whale, whatever you want to call it, looks great. The sleeve, the pointed sleeve stripes, I love. I love that Carolina just said, screw everything. We're just going Hartford Whalers on this one. That was the right call.
Yeah.
And they get an A+ from me.
They hit it out of the park.
Yeah.
That's not my number 1 though.
I
appreciate that it's yours.
Okay. What are you giving it?
This is a great jersey. I'm going A-.
A-. Okay. Docking marks for creativity. I presume.
Yes. Well, yeah, and I don't know why. I don't know why I'm knocking on gray so much today. I don't know.
You don't like gray?
Maybe a slightly darker gray. I don't know.
All right.
I'm sorry. I'm being picky.
Okay. That's okay. We'll move on. We don't have to agree on everything. It's okay.
Maybe we'll disagree on this one.
Maybe we will. This one is intriguing. A lot of mixed feelings on it. Number 6, the Los Angeles Kings.
Yeah.
I don't hate these.
I love it. I do. It's not my number one. Purple and gold, man. It works for me.
It's synonymous with the city.
Yep.
Right?
The city of champions once again.
Yeah.
I absolutely love the purple and gold Los Angeles Lakers jerseys. We're going back to 1989 here.
Yep.
When Wayne Gretzky was still donning the purple and gold. This does it for me. I'm a big fan of this jersey. I love the crown as part of the crest. I like this jersey a lot.
I think they flipped to the black and gray like just before Gretzky.
Okay.
I might be wrong, but I've never actually seen a picture of him wearing purple and gold.
He wore the silver and black.
Yeah. But the crest is a combination of their original silver and black jerseys with the purple and gold as the jersey color scheme. I don't mind the combination. I think I actually liked the original King, just the crown, better than the 90s black and gold or black and gray crest.
Yep.
The LA Kings have always had a bit of an identity crisis with their color schemes. They've never quite known if they want to be associated with the LA Lakers or the Oakland Raiders.
Yes.
And then
it's either black and white or purple and gold. That's it.
Purple and And then in I think it was the late 90s, early 2000s, they went to that really terrible shade of purple and a bit of gray and black, and nobody knew where they were headed with that one. That was just a miss. I think they were trying to combine the two, but it was a big miss. And then they eventually went back to the black and white, where they've won their most recent Stanley Cups in 2012, 2014. I like their crests now.
Yeah.
I think they're good. I think as far as, again, whatever reverse retro means, this is probably what it means.
Yeah.
Is this jersey right here.
Yeah. So you would have preferred, you think, if it was just the crown as part of the crest?
Yeah, but then it would have just been their 80s jerseys.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So this is at least the melding of the different generations, which I think I would give it... Again, for what reverse retro is trying to imply, I give it an upgrade as far as a mark goes for that. But I'm still not super crazy about them.
That's fair.
Yeah, I give it a B+.
Okay, this is an A- for me.
Okay,
I love purple and gold. I'm not crazy about. There's a little bit too much white and yellow on the elbow.
Okay,
but no, big fan of the coloration, like the crown, like the crest.
Okay. We are on to our top 5. If you can figure out the ones that haven't been mentioned, well, yes, the Chicago Blackhawks, another original 6 team, factoring in at number 5 on the sportingnews.com list. I can't say I disagree with it. Although I like these jerseys, I like the designs, but I don't like them any more so than the current Chicago Blackhawks jerseys.
Yeah.
They have a very retro feel to them. Obviously, this is like a take from like the Blackhawks, like 1930s, 1940s crests, in which, they had the outline was Chicago and Blackhawks on the outline of the crest.
Yeah.
The color scheme is pretty simple, but they're classy.
Yeah. Maybe, and I think there have been a couple other times when we've been breaking down original 6 teams, and they maybe departed a little too much from what worked for them before. The Chicago Blackhawks didn't, I don't think. It's very close to what we're accustomed to seeing. It's simple, but again, I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
They certainly didn't go Toronto Maple Leafs.
No, they didn't. No,
yeah.
no.
Yeah.
No, or Detroit Red Wings.
Or Detroit
Red Wings. Yes. This is fine. It's not blowing me away. I do like the color scheme, and they didn't stray too far, I don't think.
I'm giving it a B+.
Yeah, it's definitely in the average range for me, so I'm going to give it a B.
A B.
Yeah.
Okay. On to our top 4. Next, I have hesitations about this one being in the top 5.
Really?
The New York Rangers, slotting in at number 4. They brought back the Statue of Liberty crest with Lady Liberty's facing front, NYR underneath. The more classic kind of with a bit of a modern feel, New York Rangers crest as a shoulder patch. I'm not crazy about that.
Really?
Yeah. I could see why people would feel very differently.
Yeah.
Though. But to me, they have a little bit of a practice jersey feel.
I really like it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe I'm secretly American or something, but this whole I love bringing back the Statue of Liberty. NYR. I really like the patch. The coloration is nice. The deep blue with the red and the white. I really like the front crest.
Yeah.
Bringing back the Statue of Liberty.
Maybe I'm just a traditionalist because the Rangers are one of those franchises that I feel like they just should have never, ever strayed from their original jersey designs.
Yeah, that's fair.
I prefer the more royal blue to the darker navy blue for the New York Rangers. I'm not crazy about the kind of 3D stylized numbers on the back.
No.
Those don't really do anything.
No, I agree. I think a simple shadow would have been fine, but that's a little too heavy.
Yeah. I'm going to give these ones, I don't hate them, but I'm not crazy about them. I'm going to give them a B-.
Okay. B+.
B+.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like the front crest.
Yeah, you are all about America.
Yeah,
today.
the red, white, and the blue, and the famous.
You're just feeling it.
Famous American landmarks.
We'll have to close the show with the American national anthem just to appease Mike.
Holy cow! This is weird. I wasn't expecting this.
Now we move into the top 3. Yet another Canadian franchise and another original 6. The Montreal Canadiens. I don't know how to feel about these ones. I don't dislike them because they're pretty classic Montreal Canadiens design style, but I don't know that the Montreal Canadiens should be a blue dominant color scheme.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as trying something different, sure, because I don't think they've ever had a blue dominant color scheme before.
It is different.
I could be wrong, but they're still classy. They have that very classic feel still of, the most storied franchise in NHL history. The numbers on the back, I don't know. They look a little uninspired.
Yeah.
But there's nothing about it that I particularly hate.
No, so this is paying homage to the 1977 Stanley Cup team that won the club's 19th championship. They've always had, in my opinion, and I'm sure you'll agree, one of the best logos.
Yeah.
One of the original 6 teams. And I think the beauty has always been in its simplicity, but you see it, you know exactly which hockey club it belongs to. I like the front. I'm a fan of the switch to the blue as far as the retro reverse jersey goes. Yeah, the numbering on the back, especially with the white stripe underneath it, is a bit of a jarring feature on the eyes. But in general, I'm pretty okay with this. Obviously the crest is great.
They're clean. They're classic.
They're clean. Yeah, they are. Yeah.
I'll give them a B+.
Yeah. I'll go A-.
A-.
Yeah, I like them.
Okay. All right. We are on to our top 2. If you can give a thought to the ones that haven't been mentioned yet, well, I am going to predict that we are about to talk about Michael's A+.
That's it.
This is it.
That's it.
This is it. And I think you are in very good company from the reactions that I've seen on Twitter and social media in general today. Number 2 on this list, although I think they maybe should be number 1, the Colorado Avalanche.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yep.
Beautiful. Brought in the classic Quebec Nordiques crest on the front with the Colorado Avalanche color scheme.
Yeah.
They've basically just deepened the Nordiques red into a Colorado Avalanche maroon.
Yeah.
And altered the blue to, I don't know how to describe that shade of blue, actually.
No.
but it's an Avalanche. It's a Colorado Avalanche shade of blue.
Yeah.
They've got the fleur-de-lis lining the bottom of the jersey all the way around.
Yeah.
They are gorgeous.
Nordiques jerseys in Avalanche colors. The fleur-de-lis sealed it for me all across the bottom, but then, of course, on the shoulder patch as well, the Nordiques logo prominently featured right at the front. Really, really, really nice coloration all the way around. It's simple. It's not trying to do too much, but yet it's clear in what it's trying to do.
Yes.
And that is paying homage to the Quebec Nordiques. Yeah, and then the white. I mean, it's not, I think I was complaining before about some jerseys being too white. There's a lot of white on this one, but for this jersey, it works. This is my winner. This is my A+. I love the jersey. I love the purple, the blue, and there's a lot of white going on. This is a really nice jersey because you know exactly what it's trying to do. And stylistically, it works. Everything meshes together really nicely. I think it's a very classy jersey.
It is the one jersey design that goes white dominant and makes it work.
Yes,
and
I agree entirely.
And I 100% agree with you. This one is an A+.
Yep.
Without question. Well done, Colorado Avalanche. And finally, we get to number 1, according to this list, which is the Minnesota Wild. Now, again, as far as the reverse retro, what you could possibly define reverse retro as, this one checks all the boxes.
Yep.
It's got the Minnesota Wild just there. I think that's their current crest.
Yes.
Yeah, which is a wonderful crest. Their current crest on the front, shoulder patch. Actually, there are no shoulder patches. They've got shoulder bars instead.
Yep.
And the old Minnesota North Stars gold and green color scheme. This one also getting rave reviews from people on social media. I
think I'm in the same camp as you.
Yeah.
It's not absolutely blowing me away.
No.
It's nice.
Again, it checks all the boxes.
Yep.
It's a balanced design, color scheme wise. Sort of how like the Edmonton Oilers one, it felt like there was like two different designs going on in the front and the back.
Yep.
This one is very consistent, so it gets marks there, I guess.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think that this jersey to me just proves how great the Minnesota Wild's actual jerseys are.
Yeah, yeah.
Because any other design, if you put this up against it, this would probably do really well.
Mm-hmm.
But their current jerseys, the deep red and the forest green, it's just such a great combination.
Yeah. Their crest is beautiful.
Yeah.
And even in this jersey, it's really, really nice. But so they made subtle tweaks to their the alternates that they currently have. But this is more really them paying tribute to the North Stars, who are now in Dallas, but still much beloved in Minnesota. So I think that was the thought process of the creative team down there.
Yeah.
It's a really nice crest, don't get me wrong. But I wasn't absolutely blown away by it, I don't think.
Yeah, I like it. It's definitely in the top half of the jersey design.
Definitely.
Again, as it stands on its own, I think it's a good-looking jersey.
Yeah.
It just, when you compare it to what the Minnesota Wild wear normally, it falls a bit short.
Yeah.
So I would give it a B, but I'll bump it up to a B+ because it checks the boxes of reverse retro.
You get what they are trying to do.
Yes.
So likewise, I'm feeling a B+ for the Minnesota Wild.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go. There you have it. All 31 teams. And it only took us an hour and a half to get through it.
No breaks. Glad I got that water.
Whew, man, I am thirsty. All right. It is time to say goodbye for another week here on Cabin Sports Radio. Maybe take a look at the jersey schemes and get at Mike and I on social media. Let us know what you think of our grades. Perhaps we'll make those public, or perhaps we'll keep those to ourselves to avoid, anyone from being mean to us, disagreeing. But yes, we are going to say goodbye for another week here on Cabin Sports Radio. As we mentioned off the top of the show, the Masters, a pretty well-known golf tournament, happened this just yesterday. Dustin Johnson, his first Masters win, second major win, and arguably the best part of the whole tournament happened while he was interviewing after winning his first Masters. See you next week on Cabin Sports Radio.
It's a dream come true. It's as a kid, always dreamed about, being a Masters champion.
It's okay.
It's hard to talk.
You've earned this right.
But, it's just incredible, obviously, as you can tell. Sorry.
No, don't apologize. I think the overwhelming message when I talk to your team, it's that you care so much and you work so hard. It's just that not a lot of us get to see it. Could you give us just a peek behind the curtain as to why all of this emotion is there? Because I know it's because of how hard you work.
I've never had this much trouble gathering myself.
It's okay.
On the golf course, I'm pretty good at it. Out here, I'm not. Yeah, I do. I put in a lot of hard work. I've got a great team who... Jesus. Who gives it... I can't even talk.
But Bubba Watson has showed us that tears are absolutely allowed here at Augusta National. Dustin, take this one in.